Okay, hello again everybody. Quick video. I wanted to talk firstly about faith and keeping faith, and it's one of the core components of motivation, because everything to do with manipulating the body, there's always a lag with it. So you'll probably have experienced this. Some days you've been like, oh, I've been brilliant today. You wake up the next day, put on 3 pounds, or vice versa. You binge, you feel horrible, the next day you're like skinny, or even things like muscle growth, hypertrophy. You can be killing something, but it might take 3 weeks for that development to kick in. So it's very important to have faith in your process, not to get all American, but and part of that is about knowledge. So I want to now enter into Nutritional Plan 1, just to give us a little bit of an insight into why that works, and perhaps to help in terms of motivation. So I'm doing a little chalk and talk today. I'm the children of teachers, so I should be able to manage this. But so in Nutritional Plan 1, we talk about it being an insulin reset and the importance of re-establishing a more desirable secretion rate of our insulin. So I just want to talk about that, and in terms of like energy, carbohydrates, storage usage, which I'll go through. So what happens when we ingest carbohydrates, and let's think of them in terms of complex carbohydrates. So the starches are very tightly bound sugars, for want of a better word, or just simple sugars like sugar. When we ingest it, that's our primary use of energy. And it's also, we also need to discuss how we store that energy. So we ingest it. After various processes, it affects our blood sugar concentration. And that's how we transmute energy around the body, and also how it's stored. So let's just look at that in a little bit of detail. So let's say we ingest some very carby food, some pasta, some complex carbs. So this is a graph of our blood sugar concentration. So we're going to consume it, and it's going to make the concentration go high. It's going to go up. The body doesn't like it when the blood sugar concentration is elevated. So what the body does is it produces insulin from the pancreas. It produces insulin, and that is a storage hormone. It's a clever one. This is about survival. So what insulin does is it makes the cells permeable so that we can suck out all that excess energy. And we store that energy. So when we do that, when the insulin's out, the blood sugar level drops. You all probably heard the phrase the car crash or something like that. And this is where the issues can lie. So at this stage, we can be psychologically hungry, emotionally hungry, but we're biologically hungry. So our blood sugar, our energy, think of blood sugar as energy. Our energy is low, and our body's telling us to eat. So again, we're going to consume food, probably the carby, starchy food. Again, we get an insulin, blood sugar will drop, and that pattern repeats itself. So just in terms of the frequency of eating, we can see that this prompts us to eat quite frequently. But if we look at this section here, the insulin coming out. So the insulin, as I mentioned before, the hormone insulin makes the cells permeable. So we're going to suck out all the excess sugar. Some of it is going to go to the muscles, which is why it's always good for weight loss to be more muscled, in this form of glycogen. Some of it is going to go to the liver, and some of it is going to go to fat and be stored in fat cells. Now, we'll switch from storage to usage. So we want to use energy. How do we use this energy? So some of this energy that we've got, we may be able to get it to the muscles and use it immediately. Some of this extra energy, this blood sugar here. Some of it we're going to access from our muscles. If from the glycogen storage, you're going to be able to use that energy in there, also in the liver. And what we ideally want to do is to oxidate and burn the energy in the fat. That's the primary goal of weight loss, obviously. Now, and this is the key thing. Because insulin is anabolic for fat tissue, adipose tissue, it's impossible to oxidate, break down, burn fat while there's insulin present in the body. And because of our frequent use of insulin, there's very often insulin in the body. So we're not always, or we're quite often not oxidating, burning fat. That's important. So this is not my analogy, but it's an analogy often used. It's the fridge analogy. So if we think of it, it works quite well because we can think of a fridge, our body is a fridge. So we put energy, we put food into the fridge. Once we've got excess food, we can store it in the freezer here. So we then come to use that food. Say we use all the food in the fridge and we want to get to the food in the freezer, which is the fat stores. But the insulin in the body acts like a padlock on that door for the freezer. So we can never get to it while there's insulin there. So we never actually burn the fat stores while we've got a lot of insulin. Now, insulin is a fantastic hormone when used properly because it's about survival, and that's how we, thinking about a caveman, might go 3